Hey there, Math Club. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you might remember a special episode we made a couple of years ago, especially for kids. We called it Math Club Junior.
It was an interactive math adventure all about a school pizza party. And at the end, we teased a possible sequel by mentioning that the class had an upcoming field trip to the zoo.
Over the years, we've received feedback from lots of elementary school teachers asking if we planned to ever make that follow up episode.
Well, today's the day.
And just like before, the math in this episode is geared towards upper level elementary school students. But we also think it'll be enjoyable for adults and younger kids too, as long as they have a little extra support.
And just like last time, this will be an interactive story with plenty of math problems for young listeners to think about and solve. So we recommend getting some pencils and paper before we start.
Now, throughout the episode, there are a few spots where we think you'll want to hit pause while you do some problem solving. You'll recognize those spots when you hear this music.
That about takes care of the nuts and bolts. Are you ready for another fun math adventure with Mrs. Morrison's class? Because here we go.
Okay, everyone, I know you're excited for field trip day. The sooner we load the bus, the sooner we can get underway. So single file, please, and 3 to a seat.
Those kids may be excited, but they can't be half as excited as I am. We get to be in charge of the Math Club Junior group the whole time we're at the zoo.
Yeah, and we haven't seen them since that time when Mrs. Morrison broke her leg and we came in to help get ready for the pizza party.
That was so much fun.
So how's Mrs. Morrison doing, by the way?
Oh, totally better. She's all healed up and really looking forward to today's field trip.
I'm really looking forward to it too. I can't remember the last time I went to the zoo.
It'll be a lot of fun for sure. And I remember that last time you said math is everywhere if you just look for it. So I'm curious to see how much math we'll find today.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Looks like we're all loaded up.
Yeah, but I think maybe something's wrong. Look over there. Mrs. Morrison is talking with the bus driver, and she does not look very happy.
Let's go see what's going on.
The children are going to be so disappointed, Gus.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Morrison. I'm sure it was an honest mistake.
What's going on?
When I reserved the bus for today's field trip, I said we were going to Park City Zoo. But the bus company got it wrong and told Mr. Shriver here to take us to City Park Zoo.
Hi, you can call me Gus. Nice to meet you both.
Wait, your name is Gus Shriver?
Yeah,
And you're a bus driver?
yeah.
So, well, that's... Anyway, what's the big problem? Now that you've cleared it up, why can't we just head off to Park City Zoo?
Well, there's one small problem.
I'm not sure if we have enough gas to get there.
Oh my gosh, Pete. I wasn't even looking yet, and here's a math problem already.
Noah's right. We can use math to figure this out.
All we need to know is how much gas you have in the tank and how far it is to the zoo.
And one more little bit of info, but let's start with what Noah said.
So how much gas do we have, Gus?
We have a 30-gallon tank, but I'd guess it's only 10% full right now.
That's a Gus gas guess.
10% is just another way to say the fraction 1/10. So, Math Club Junior, we didn't expect to be doing any math this soon, but let's do some figuring. If this bus has a 30-gallon tank, but it's only 1/10 full, how much gas do we have?
So, how much gas do we have, everyone?
Well, if the bus can hold 30 gallons, but we only have 1/10 of that, we must have 3 gallons, since 3 times 10 is 30. 3 is 1/10 of 30.
So is that enough to get us to Park City Zoo?
That depends on a couple of things. First of all, how far is it from here to the zoo?
I just checked on Google Maps. The zoo is 42 miles from here.
Okay, so we have 3 gallons and we need to go 42 miles.
And that brings us to the other bit of information that I said we were going to need. We need to know the bus's gas mileage. Here in the United States, the gas mileage of a vehicle tells you how far that vehicle can go on 1 gallon of gas. So it's usually reported as a certain number of miles per gallon.
Well, this bus happens to get 6 miles per gallon.
So do we have enough?
Well, let's figure that out now that we have all of the information. Here are the facts we learned. The zoo is 42 miles away, we have 3 gallons of gas, and the bus can drive 6 miles per gallon. So, do we have enough gas?
So let's see if you got that right. If we have 3 gallons and we can drive 6 miles for each gallon we have, then we can go 6 times 3, or 18 miles with the gas we have.
And since the zoo is more than 18 miles away, that means we don't have enough gas.
Hey, can't we get more gas along the way?
Well, maybe. There is a gas station on our route that's close enough to reach with the gas we have. And I have $50 that we could use to buy more. But I guess it will depend on how much the gas costs per gallon.
Well, let's head over there and see.
All right, here we are. The sign out front says that gas costs $4 per gallon. How much do we need?
Well, we had enough to go 18 miles, and the drive to the zoo is 42 miles. 42 minus 18 is 24. So we need to buy enough to go an additional 24 miles.
That's only true if we're planning on staying at the zoo after the field trip. But I figure you'll probably want me to drive you back to school, which is another 42 miles. So we actually need to buy enough gas to go an extra 66 miles.
Okay, kids, here's a 2-part problem for you. We need to buy enough gas to get us an extra 66 miles. We know the bus can go 6 miles on a gallon of gas, so first you need to figure out how many gallons we need to buy. Then you need to figure out if $50 will be enough money to pay for what we need. Remember, gas costs $4 a gallon. Ready? Hop to it.
Well, what's the answer? Do we have enough?
It turns out we do. We need 11 gallons, and at $4 per gallon, that will cost $44. Let's fill her up and get to that zoo.
Phew, we finally made it. Math Club, for the rest of our time here, you will officially be known as Junior Zookeepers. And according to our schedule, the first thing our group is supposed to see is the rainforest habitat.
Let's go, everyone. The rainforest is right over there.
Good morning, Junior Zookeepers, and welcome to the Park City Zoo. My name is Beatrice Trapper, and I'm the head zookeeper here at our rainforest habitat.
Nice to meet you, Keeper Trapper.
Oh, you can call me Bee.
Hey, that's pretty funny. You're a keeper, and your name is Bee.
What's so funny about that?
Because nothing. Never mind.
Anywho, welcome to the Park City rainforest, home to over a dozen different species of animals.
But, Bee, where are all the animals?
Yeah, about that. Most of them have been spending all of their time inside these past 4 days. I'm wondering if it might just be too cold for them out here.
Why don't we take a look at the weather report for the week and see if we can figure out what's going on?
That's a great idea, Pete. I'll just pull that up on my phone. Ah, here it is. I can see what the temperature's been each day for the last 4 days.
Let's figure out what the average temperature's been over that time.
Average temperature? What's that?
Well, an average is a single number that kind of sums up a whole bunch of other numbers. It's like finding one number in the middle that represents the whole group of numbers, in a way. We use it when we have lots of things and want a simple idea of what a typical one of them is like.
How do we figure it out?
To find the average of a group of numbers, you have to do two steps. First, you add all of the numbers up. Then you take that total and divide it by however many numbers there are in the group to begin with.
So if we wanted to find the average of 7, 3, and 2, we would start by adding them up, right?
Right.
So 7 plus 3 is 10. And then when we add 2 more, we get 12.
Okay, and then what?
Now we take that total of 12 and divide it by 3.
Why 3?
Because there were 3 numbers to start with, 7, 3, and 2. So when we do 12 divided by 3, we get our average, which is 4.
And 4 is that number that's kind of like a middle amount for 7, 3, and 2.
I get it. So now we have to do the same thing with the temperatures for the past 4 days.
Exactly. And looking at my phone here, I can see that those temperatures were 60 degrees, 68 degrees, 57 degrees, and 63 degrees.
All right, Junior Zookeepers, time to do some math. We need to know the average temperature over the past 4 days. So first, you're going to add those 4 amounts together, and then you'll divide that sum total by 4. Again, those temperatures were 60 degrees, 68 degrees, 57 degrees, and 63 degrees. Ready? Go!
Did you figure it out?
Let's see. If we add 60 plus 68 plus 57 plus 63, we get a total of 248.
And then when we divide 248 by 4, we get an average temperature of 62 degrees.
Oh, well, that certainly explains it. The average temperature in their natural habitat ranges throughout the year from 68 to 84, and it never gets any colder than 64. It's just been too cold for these poor guys out here recently. But don't worry, I have a plan to fix it.
What's your plan, Keeper Trapper?
I have this grip on for woolen socks. It doesn't matter what size they are. As long as I buy more than 100 pairs of socks, I can save a bundle. And I think if we get some for the animals, it'll help them cope with the cold.
Okay, so how many do you need?
Well, let's see now. We need to get socks for all of the chimps, leopards, and ants to help them warm up. We have 8 chimps, 6 leopards, and a colony of 30 ants.
So, if there are 8 chimps with 2 feet each, 6 leopards with 4 feet each, and 30 ants with 6 feet each, how many total socks will they need?
Take a minute to figure that out, Junior Zookeepers.
So, how many socks did you calculate we'll need?
You should have done 8 times 2 to find out how many socks 8 chimps need. That's 16.
And 6 leopards will need 6 times 4, or 24 socks.
Yep. And finally, 30 ants. They have 6 feet each, so 30 times 6 is 180.
Add those all up, and we get 16 plus 24 plus 180, which is a total of 220 socks.
220 socks, eh? How many pairs of socks is that?
Junior Zookeepers.
Since it takes 2 socks to make a pair, we just need to divide 220 in half to find that we'll need 110 pairs of socks. 110 is more than 100, so we'll be able to use our Groupon to swaddle all 220 of those rainforest tootsies in warm, cozy socks. Yay! It's time for our next activity, Junior Zookeepers. We're going to watch the sea lion feeding just across the way here in the aquatic center.
Oh, that sounds awesome. What do sea lions eat?
You know, I'm not sure, but if they're anything like regular lions, they probably eat sea hyenas and sea wildebeests.
I'm not sure those things even exist.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out when they start the feeding. And speaking of which, here we are.
Isn't someone supposed to meet us out here to take us in?
I think so. Oh, there's a sign on the door. The last feeding today will be at 4 p.m. Please consult your zoo info guide for other feeding times throughout the day.
I have the info guide right here. Let's see what it says about those feeding times. All right, let's see. Here it is. Sea lion feeding times. The final feeding of the day will be posted on the door.
Right, that's this note we found. What else does the guide say?
It says, the first feeding of the day will take place 7 hours before the last feeding, and the middle feeding is exactly halfway between the first and last feedings.
This is a terrible info guide. Why do they have to make it so complicated?
It's not that bad. I'm sure our junior zookeepers can help us figure this out. If the final feeding time today will be at 4 p.m., and the first feeding is 7 hours before that, when is today's first feeding?
Were you able to figure out the first feeding time? 7 hours before 4 p.m. would be 9 a.m.
Oh man, we're way too late for that. We were still on the bus driving here at 9 a.m.
Don't worry, there's one more midday feeding, remember?
Oh yeah, halfway between the other two. So what time is halfway between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.? Junior zookeepers?
Did you get 12:30 p.m.? Because that's the right answer. There was a 7-hour gap between the first and last feeding. Since half of 7 is 3.5, we need to figure out what time it'll be 3.5 hours after the first feeding. And 3.5 hours after 9 a.m. is 12:30 p.m.
And what time is it right now?
Oh, it's almost 12:30. They should be starting in about 10 minutes.
So what do you want to do in the meantime?
What's all of that noise over there?
Let's go check it out.
Excuse me.
Take a break, everyone. Hi there.
What's going on over here? You guys building something?
That's right. I'm the foreman of the Park City Zoo Construction Department. Name's Foreman Fiveman.
Nice to meet ya.
Hey, that's hilarious.
What is?
That a foreman has the last name Fiveman?
And that's funny because...
You see, No, never mind. Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Are you all enjoying your field trip?
We are, and it's amazing how much math there's been.
Math?
Yeah. So far, we've calculated how much gas we'd need, computed this week's average temperature, bought a bunch of socks for rainforest animals, and figured out when the sea lion feedings are going to be.
Wow, that's a lot of math. And since you guys are so good at it, maybe you can help me with a little math problem I'm trying to work out.
We'd be happy to. What's the problem?
We're building a new fence for the elephant enclosure. I have 500 feet of fencing, and I need to use it all to make a rectangular fence.
So what you already know is that the perimeter of the finished fence will be 500 feet.
Perimeter? What's that?
Perimeter is a word mathematicians use, and it means the distance around the outside of a shape.
Oh, then yes. This fence will have a perimeter of 500 feet.
Okay. So what are you trying to figure out?
The back edge of the fence has to be exactly 100 feet long in order to fit between the lion habitat and the flamingo pond. So, if that side is 100 feet long, how long will the other 3 sides have to be?
Well, since it's a rectangle, the side across from it will also be 100 feet long, right?
I guess so.
Why don't we have our junior zookeepers figure out how long the other 2 sides will be? Remember, we have 500 feet of fence, and we know that 2 of the sides will be 100 feet each. So, how long will the other two sides be?
All right, friends, did you figure it out? If the first two sides are 100 feet each, that uses up 200 feet of fencing. Foreman Fiveman said he has 500 feet of fencing altogether, so that leaves another 300 feet for the other two sides.
And since it's a rectangle, we know those other two sides will have equal lengths. So we'll split the last 300 feet of fencing evenly between them, making each of them 150 feet long.
That means your rectangle will be 100 feet by 150 feet, Foreman Fiveman.
Okay, but I wonder if that's going to be big enough.
Well, how big is it supposed to be?
We have 6 elephants, and zoo guidelines say that each one of them needs 2,100 square feet of space. Will a rectangle this size be big enough?
Oh, I'm sure we can figure that out. It sounds like a two-part problem, Junior Zookeepers. First, you'll want to figure out how much space we need for 6 elephants. Remember, each one needs 2,100 square feet.
And once you know how much space we need, the second step is to compute how much space we'll have inside our fence. There's another math term for the space inside of a shape. That's called the area. And here's a hint. You can figure out the area of a rectangle by multiplying its width by its length. This rectangle is 100 feet wide and 150 feet long, so you should have everything you need to compute its area.
And don't forget to compare that area to the space the elephants need to see if it's big enough.
All right, everyone, you should have started by multiplying 2,100 square feet by 6, since there are 6 elephants. That comes to 12,600 square feet, which is how much space we'll need inside the finished fence. If the area of our rectangle is more than 12,600 square feet, the enclosure will be big enough for all 6 elephants.
And to figure out the area, or how much space we have inside, we multiply the width, which is 100 feet, by the length, which is 150 feet. That comes to 15,000 square feet.
So if we have 15,000 square feet inside the fence, and we only need 12,600 square feet, we definitely have enough room for all the elephants. Yep. Thanks, Junior Zookeepers. I'm glad you all came by when you did.
Ooh, that reminds me. We'd better get back to the aquatic center if we're going to see the sea lions get fed.
See you later, Foreman Fiveman.
Oh, look, Pete, the doors are open now. Let's go on in.
Come on, guys.
Are you here for the sea lion feeding?
Yep, I'm Noah. This is Pete. And these are the Math Club Junior Zookeepers from Mrs. Morrison's class.
Hi, everyone. Hi! I'm the sea lion trainer here at the aquatic center. You can call me Megan.
Oh, come on.
What?
A trainer named Megan?
Yes.
Megan Trainer?
I don't get why this is funny.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of that going around today.
Moving on. Did you say these kids were from the math club?
That's right.
Do you think you could help me figure out how many pounds of food we're going to need?
Isn't it the same every day?
Usually, yes. But today, we have some extra sea lions visiting from City Park Zoo. So I'm gonna need more food than usual.
All right. Give us the numbers and we'll see what we can do.
Great! So we have 3 fully grown female sea lions who live here year-round. Each one of them eats 6 pounds of fish per meal.
Sounds good.
But today, we have 2 extra adult females and their 4 children. The thing to keep in mind, though, is the children only eat 1/3 as much as the adults do.
So we have 5 adults who need 6 pounds each, and 4 more children who each eat 1/3 as much as an adult. Sounds like it's time for you to do some figuring, Junior Zookeepers.
Okay, everyone. Let's see if you figured out the right amount of food for the zoo's sea lions and their guests. Starting with the adults, you should have calculated 5 sea lions times 6 pounds of food apiece for a total of 30 pounds.
And then there are 4 younger sea lions. They only eat 1/3 as much, and 1/3 of 6 pounds is 2 pounds. So that's 4 young ones times 2 pounds each, which is another 8 pounds.
Add those together, and it looks like we'll need 38 pounds of food for this meal, Megan.
Wow! That's more than double the amount I usually need per meal. Good thing you guys were here to help me figure it out. Now, who wants to help me feed these hungry little cuties?
Okay, everyone, single file as we get back on the bus. And please sit in the same seats you sat in on our way here this morning.
Hey everyone, how was the field trip?
It was amazing, Gus. So many animals, so many things to see and learn.
And so much math.
You mean like when we had to figure out if we could afford the gas to get here and back?
Oh, that and lots more. We also figured out how many socks we could buy for the animals from the rainforest, how big of an elephant enclosure we could build, and a few different things about feeding the sea lions.
And we couldn't have done any of it without Pete, Noah, and the Math Club Junior Zookeepers.
Well, then it was a good thing we were able to get your class here today, wasn't it?
It sure was. And now all that's left is the drive back to school. Are we ready to head out?
I think we are.
Well, Pete, you were still right.
Right. About what?
Math really is everywhere if you just open your eyes and look around.
Yup. And I'd also like to add one more thing. By working together, we were able to subtract from our worries, divide up all the work, and multiply our knowledge.
Yeah, Pete, I'd say that pretty much sums it all up.
Bye, Math Club Junior.
We'll see you next time.